Wiping it down when the paint hot. Left hand on the wheel. I'm closing the top when the raindrop. I'm keeping the game in the headlock. When throwed and blinded my dreadlock. In the end zone with the mad dot. One phone call, get it dead stop. I feel like I own the season. Say one thing, just give me a reason. Knowing you're mad, I'm undefeated. Top dog, making it even.
Oh, I had to get back up. I had to get back up.
I can't take no off. You better call back up. I'm running it down to finish. I don't play, get down to get it. Talk about that, come slide, I'm with it. Better see me now, on God, I'm lit it. I know that you tryna go big. Better run up the cash, you love to spend. Made it, kill it, and did it again. But the intent, no, I'm down to win. I can't feel bad about it. I know you sad about it.
Know you sad about it. Know you sad about it.
Tell me what you want, what you need. Tell me what you wanna give. How much blood would you bleed? I'ma tell you I'm a misconceiver. I'm a believer. Someone better kick my fever. Tell me it's 100 degrees underneath my whole flesh. Everyone tells me it's a bit of a mess.
Two veteran quarterbacks looking for a return to the playoffs.
Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Today, it's the opener of a new NFL season between the Atlanta Falcons and the Minnesota Vikings. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by the third overall pick in the 2008 draft, the man they call Matty Ice, quarterback Matt Ryan.
And they said he would be a gym rat coming out of Boston College, and nothing has changed, and his play continues to get better as he rallies his team.
Throwing now, Ryan on first down. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in. Well, these two teams, the Falcons and the Vikings, have met 30 times since the Falcons' inaugural year in the league back in 1966. And the Vikings winning 19 of those games, but maybe the most memorable game between the two was a Falcons victory. That was in the NFC Championship game back in January of '99. Gary Anderson missed a field goal to potentially win it at the end of regulation, and then the Falcons would get the victory in OT 30-27, and they were off to the Super Bowl. From the gun on third down, Ryan. Looks to throw, fires right side, and that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's fourth down. Okay, look at this. The punt team nowhere to be found. They're on the sidelines. Offense going to go for this on the opening drive. Now Ryan. It's caught. Jones. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Defensively, a bit of a collapse, allowing the fourth down play to result in 23 yards. And now he's really knocking on the door for 700. That is career catch 699. They run, Devontae Freeman. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. On second and 12, Ryan. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's second down.
I will see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
On third down, Devontae Freeman. And he can only get this to the 42-yard line, and that is not near enough. This offense converted once already in this first quarter. They're going to try it again here on fourth down.
And Falcons fans everywhere excited that Devontae Freeman is back on the field wearing number 24 in the red and black. Remember, he went down in week 2 in 2018 with an injury and didn't return. They're hoping to see the form that led him to 1,000-yard seasons in 2015 and 2016.
Off the play fake. Here's Ryan. That is caught inside the 5. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. 23 yards, the final tally. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. This is Quadri Allison, the rookie from Pitt. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. Quadri Allison with his first career touchdown in his first career game. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Bryant tacks on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. And after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Vikings under 6-year head coach Mike Zimmer. They'll be led out by the veteran quarterback out of Michigan State. The former Spartan, it's Kirk Cousins.
Forget the measurables. His temperament, which is so even-keeled, often masks a burning desire to win and perform. This guy takes it seriously when he lines up to play, and usually he puts on a nice performance.
Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. They go play action. Cousins. Blitz coming, and down he goes. In for the sack, Deion Jones.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Here's Dalvin Cook, 3rd year back from Florida State. And he's not going to sniff the first down here. He stopped at the 25. It'll be a gain of 5, and the punt team will now come out on 4th down. An ideal start defensively. They already have the touchdown. Now they get the stop.
Just like they drew it up on the chalkboard. Does that sound dated? Right? Am I out of touch a little bit?
It's all right.
All right, grease board, heck, computer, exactly what you want, though. Score on your first drive, stop them on the first drive defensively.
Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. Look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road. Take
Julio Jones all alone. Touchdown, Falcons. Julio Jones, 65 yards. And the Falcons are able to show off their quick strike ability. And nothing too crazy there. A quick slant, and then he just had a seam. He found a seam.
And when you hit it on the run like that, and I mean the pass right to the receiver who's already in motion and moving, sometimes he just takes it and runs away from everyone else.
And he ran it into the end zone. And the defense, they've got to adjust there quickly. That's tough on them.
That's really tough because everything was executed well. Ball was out of his hands quickly, into the hands of the receiver, and then he was gone.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. The second down play, not much better than the first. Just a gain of 1 there. On 3rd down, Cousins. And complete, right side to Cook. And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30.
Well, the good thing about covering any game I do with you is I know that there's no problem with rhythm. Now, what we're watching offensively, a little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, punt on the first drive, looking at another one here. Just a little slow. You know, they were talking about a fast start, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and let's face it, any team we cover always talks about a fast start.
That's true.
But it's not necessarily going to happen just because.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. On the tackle that time, it's Trey Waynes. Throwing on second down. Ryan. It's caught over the middle. Hooper. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 22 yards there, a first down. Ryan now already at 150 yards passing, and we're still in the first quarter. It's 1st and 10. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now, Falcon football, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. On first down, it's Freeman. And Freeman lost the football.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. He'll pick up another first.
And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Falcons push further out in front. Sometimes a group that gets overlooked, certainly, the offensive line. Right there, they really helped with that score.
Didn't they tell us in our meeting that when we score touchdowns running the ball, that means the offensive line actually scored first by moving people back beyond the end zone? We saw evidence of that on that play.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. A reminder, coming up later tonight, the Patriots unfurl their 6 banners. They play host to their rival Steelers. And then on Monday night, that's the one weekend of the year where you get 2 games to wrap up the week. Texans and Saints from New Orleans in the early game, then Broncos and Raiders. Vic Fangio's coaching debut and the Raiders' final season opener in Oakland. That's the late game, 10:30 Eastern. A big play there on the catch and run. 67 yards. First red zone chance now for the Vikings. This is 1st and goal from about the 8. Throwing is Cousins. Looking in zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there, but it'll be 2nd and goal. Nothing on first down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. Cousins gives way to Cook, and he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. 7 big yards on the carry there to get him within range of the goal line with 3rd down upcoming. Now Cousins. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Herb Smith Jr., his first NFL reception, goes for 6. As they are now on the board here in the first half. That seemed like a much-needed touchdown after 21 unanswered points to start the game.
It's not often that you equate a football game to a golf tournament, but it's like you don't want to shoot yourself out of the tournament too early. So they needed that touchdown to make sure that they got an opportunity to not just get back into this game, but a chance to win it later if they continue to play well.
That penalty is declined.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Here's a good way to kick off a drive, complete over the middle. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Give him 30 yards there. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. They'll run on first down. It's Freeman. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
And he gets it down to the 32.
And the judge does a nice job there of navigating and picking up some yardage. Remember, no Tevin Coleman in the backfield, so he's moved up in the pecking order, getting a lot of playing time for these Atlanta Falcons.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. It's a give to Freeman running right. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And he's going to let it go deep. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. He was looking for Julio Jones, his Pro Bowl receiver, and that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Ryan. And that will be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket.
Go! 54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54.
They'll try and throw for him with Ryan. And that is going to be incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, I've seen, you and I both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here, 4th down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
Good work after the catch, gets him 15 and a 1st down. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. Cook stripped, the ball's out. But a Viking was able to corral this one, and Minnesota will keep possession. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Check safety.
Cousins now to throw on 1st down. The throw complete to Beebe. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. From the red zone now, Cousins. His throw caught at about the 5. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. An 18-yard touchdown grab as his guys are back within a single score.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. This is fielded at the goal line. A marker down. He does get it up past the 25. Will it hold? Let's see.
Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
The Vikings after it, and they get there for the sack. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph. Another try after the first down sack. Ryan eluding the pressure right. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Ryan. And he's got Sanu. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. And now a long one for Matt Bryant. He's hit from 62 in his career, but that was all the way back in 2006. This will be spotted just shy of midfield, a 59-yard attempt. And this is good. He got just... All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the third. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is a real, I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game.
He's got a man complete. The 20. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs. 72 yards, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they've got to make sure they load him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 44-yard line. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Ryan. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Ryan now 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%. And it's 1st and 10. Now Ryan. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
I know you felt like saying touchdown there, didn't you, partner? That looked like a sure 6 points, but the contact jarred it free.
Got his hands on it, could not hold on through the end of the play. And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Falcons push further out in front.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Bryant's extra point up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And after the touchdown, here's Bryant now to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. How many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well. I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49. 15 yards on the play. First down. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. To throw is Cousins. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant. 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. I don't know who all is to blame there, but I love seeing pick sixes.
Nothing like seeing someone pluck it out of the air and go the other way and see people try to change directions. Hard to do.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
Comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
Deep in there, right? 4 yards the pickup, first down. Cousins now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now Cook. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Defensively, they rally the troops to force 4th down after that 7-yard pickup back on 1st.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage will be found.
A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the Falcons will get it 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Matt Ryan and the offense heading back onto the field. How do you think he personally is evaluating his game so far? He was pretty good in the first half, been good so far here in the 3rd quarter. He's got to like it, right?
Not looking for the dramatics here. Not trying to set the world on fire in terms of stats. It's almost like you're driving. Hands at 10 and 2, alert for anything out there, watching for trouble on the road, and making sure you get the team home.
The bus driver. See if he can drive the bus here again on this drive. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
3rd quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On 3rd down, Ryan. The left side completion to Jones. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th. The Falcons will go for it. It's Ryan. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one. Ryan now perfect since the second half started, 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now it's Ryan. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Freeman.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
21. Here we go.
On second down, Freeman. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Staying on the ground, this time it's Smith. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what was said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Say hello to Eric Kendricks. He gets the sack there. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Here's Ryan to throw. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. He was looking for Mohamed Sanu there. And it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
21.
From the gun, it's Ryan. Looking deep for Julio. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down. They converted once earlier in this drive, but they'll roll the dice here again on 4th down.
58. Mike 5-4.
They're going on 4th down. It's Ryan. And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. Defensively, a bit of a collapse, allowing the 4th down play to result in 23 yards. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. To throw again is Ryan. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. The defensive end, Daniil Hunter, drops him.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. The quarterback was hit.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. From the gun, it's a run for Freeman. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. First throw off the bench for the veteran Sean. He's going to let it go deep for the... And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Falcons push further out in front.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground, and he's upended at the 33. Following a good pickup of 8. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down. Now Cousins.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep.
That's caught inside the 20. And he takes this thing way down into Atlanta territory. A big play there for Minnesota. Minnesota. 43 yards. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen. Already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Vikings are able to cut into that deficit. Throwing, Cousins. The quick slant caught. And he will get into the end zone to cut the lead a little bit further. Well, it's still an uphill battle from here, that's for sure, but that makes it a two-score game.
And now we see why teams practice so much on the two-point conversion, why you have more than one play ready, because you may need multiples to throw out a ball game. There's a great example right there.
They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. On first down, Freeman. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with 65 seconds remaining. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. Connects with Sanu right side. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Check. Get up.
Oh, look at this. Ryan's going to throw it. And he's going to lose a yard or two. Taken down behind the line. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. I guess he was saving his best for last, so to speak. Longest run of the day coming here in the 4th quarter right there.
And that type of run makes for a better night for him and his teammates, doesn't it? To be able to produce this late in the game can lead to some big smiles and satisfaction in the locker room after this one's over.
Anthony Barr in on the tackle. So time runs out. It's a victory.